The Ismai'īlī Shi'a, the Nizari, Druze and Mustaali have more pillars than those of the Sunni. The Shahadah is not considered a pillar and is instead seen as the foundation upon which they are built. Ismai'īlī pillars. Wilayah, guardianship, denotes love and devotion to God, the prophets, the scripture, the imams and the dua missionaries. In Ismai'īlī doctrine, God is one and the true desire of every soul, creator of everything. The appointed dua lead believers to the right path. The Druze refer to this pillar as taslim, submission, an informative article on the 7 pillars and wilayah. Tahara, purity. The Ismai'īlī lay special emphasis on purity and its related practices, and the Nizari consider this in a more esoteric sense too and apply it to purity of mind, soul and action. The Ismailis also apply it to ritual practices related to prayer and cleanliness. Salat, prayer. Unlike Sunni and 12 Muslims, Nizari Ismai'īlī reason that it is up to the current imam to designate the style and form of prayer, and for this reason the current Nizari prayer is called dua and they pray 3 times a day. An informative article on the esoteric relationship between salah and dua. These 3 times have been related with the 3 times that have been mentioned in the Quran: sunrise, before sunset, and after sunset. In contrast, the Mustaali maintain 5 prayers and the style is generally closely related to that of the 12 vers. The Druze believe that the meaning of prayer is sidqi el-lisan, speaking truth, and do not believe in 5 daily prayers. They do sometimes attend prayers, which is the practice of the uninitiated, and historically was also done for reasons of taqiyya, zakah, charity. With the exception of the Druze, all Ismai'īlī madhab have practices resembling that of Sunni and 12 Muslims with the addition of the characteristic shi'akams, payment of 1/8 of one's unspent money at the end of the year to the imam. The Ismailis pay 12.5% of the monthly gross income to the imam, an amount which includes zakat and khums, which goes to the central accounts and then spent on welfare of the humankind like education and health projects. One of the major examples of these projects is the Aga Khan Development Network, that is one of the biggest welfare networks of the world. Thus, Ismailis believe that as Muhammad was designated to take zakat from the believers in the past, it is now the duty to pay the imam his representative. The Druze practice hifzu el-ikhwan, protection of one's brothers, instead of paying a fee, a culturally complex practice of interdependence. Sawm, fasting. Nizari and Mustaali believe in both a metaphorical and literal meaning of fasting. The literal meaning is that one must fast as an obligation, such as during the Ramadan, and the metaphorical meaning being that one is in attainment of the divine truth and must strive to avoid worldly activities which may detract from this goal. In particular, Ismailis believe the real and esoteric meaning of fasting is avoiding devilish acts and doing the good deeds, not eating during the month of Ramadan in conjunction with the metaphorical implementation of fasting. The Druze emphasize the esoteric meaning, which they call tark ibadat al, than deserting idol worship, that which detracts from communion with God is an idol. Hajj, pilgrimage. For Ismailis, visiting the imam his representative is one of the most aspired pilgrimages. There are 2 pilgrimages, Hajj-i Zahiri and Hajj-i Batini. The first is the visit to Mecca, the second being in the presence of the imam. The Mustaali maintain also the practice of going to Mecca. The Druze interpret this completely metaphorically as fleeing from devils and oppressors, and really go to Mecca. Jihad, struggle. The definition of jihad is controversial as it has 2 meanings, the greater struggle and the lesser struggle, the latter of which means a confrontation with the enemies of the faith. The Nizari are pacifist and interpret adversaries of the faith as personal and social vices and those individuals who harm the peace of the faith, and avoid provocation and use force only as a final resort, only in self-defense. independence. The Druze have a long history of military and political engagement, but refer to this pillar solely as reader contentment, the war to fight that which removes you from the ease of the divine presence, a meaning similar to that of the Nizari. In addition, the Ukal wise ones, the religious cadre of the Druze, are pacifists. Druze list. The ordering of the pillars as understood by Druze is as follows. Taslim, submission, denotes love and devotion to God, the prophets, the Imam and the Dua, missionaries. In Ismā'īlī doctrine, God is the true desire of every soul, and he manifests himself in the forms of prophets and Imams. The appointed Dua lead believers to the right path. Shahadatain, profession of faith. The Druze never mention Ali, unlike most Ismailis, as they believe al-Hakim supersedes his authority. Sidki el-Lisan, speaking truth. The Druze believe that the meaning of prayer is Sidki el-Lisan and do not believe in 5 daily prayers. They do sometimes attend prayers, which is the practice of the uninitiated, and historically was also done for reasons of taqiyya, hifzu eloquin, protection of one's brothers. The Druze practice a culturally complex practice of interdependence instead of a set fee to a religious scholar or organization, tark ibadat Allah, than deserting idol worship. The Druze emphasize the esoteric meaning of the traditional pillar called Sawm, by which they mean that which detracts from communion with God is an idol. Hajj, pilgrimage. The Druze interpret this completely metaphorically as fleeing from devils and oppressors, and rarely go to Mecca. Reader contentment. The Druze have a long history of military and political engagement, but refer to this pillar solely as the struggle to fight that which removes you from the ease of the divine presence, a meaning similar to that of the Nizari. In addition, the Ukal wise ones, the religious cadre of the Druze, are pacifists.